I don't know what's going on. I tried to film at Spooky Empire, but I didn't get any footage at all. I got all this crap leading up to it, but then I look at the camera and there's nothing there for the actual con itself. It's the witch. It's gotta be the witch, man. Ever since I found that camera, those weird totems out in the woods, just something so weird is going on. I've been trapped in the woods for like 2 weeks now. I don't know where I'm going. I can't find a GPS signal. Every time I keep walking one direction, I just keep ending back up at the same stupid spot again. It's been dark for hours and hours and hours. Look, even if I open up the door, it's pitch black outside and it's like noon.
It's daylight out. So this is supposed to be the video that's about Spooky Empire that was May 17th through 19th in Orlando, Florida. Camp Spooky 2, the last Spooky Empire at the Wyndham Orlando, which has been its home since I started going, and I think even before that. But as you can see by what's around me, I'm still just stuck in the woods. You know, there are all those rumors about that witch's curse, but I really didn't think there was anything to it. And honestly, I didn't think there was any harm in taking that camera that I found out in the woods, but ever since then, things have just been going really strange. So, to recap, let's jump back a couple days. Instead of just going straight to Orlando, me and my buddy Rob ended up going out to Tampa. And of course, if you're going to go to Tampa, you really have to hit Viper Video. I picked up the new release of Blood Moon from Severin Films. Not a movie I've ever seen before, but it looked intriguing, and I kind of just wanted to pick something up there. Then on Saturday, we had some time to kill. Ended up going to an old cigar factory that was having an open house in Ybor. Not exactly horror related or anything that would fit into this video, but you know, Ybor's supposed to be pretty haunted, so it kind of fits.
They're all 3 stories made out of brick. Third floor of your building's used for blending tobacco. Second floor is used for hand rolling cigars. First floor is used for shipping and packing, and your basement's used for storage.
And then Saturday night was the main reason we were out in Tampa, which was to see the Metal Crushes All tour. This is a tour with Frozen Soul, Obituary, Cannibal Corpse, and Amon Amarth on it. It was held at the Yingling Center at USF, which is a venue I've been to before, but have not been to in recent years. I went as a kid, I think, to see like a basketball game probably. But I don't think I've ever seen a show there. And there'd been a really great lineup. Frozen Soul I'd never heard of before, but they were pretty good. Obituary, of course, is famous, but I'd never seen them play live. This was my 3rd Cannibal Corpse show. As fun as ever.
is for any of you out there, who are interested in banging your fucking heads.
Yeah!
Try to keep up with me. You will fail miserably, but you can still try. There is no harm in that. This is a fun little song about you got in the back. You win a prize, nothing. It's a fun little song about shooting blood from your cock.
And then my 6th time seeing Amon Amarth, and they definitely have taken a bit of a cue from Iron Maiden in terms of their stage show, and that's definitely not a bad thing. gone even as far as to have like the inflatable stage props and stuff like Iron Maiden does with Eddie now.
We'd like to take this opportunity to raise our horns to you. Cheers! Skål!
So Sunday morning, got all of our stuff back together and headed out for Spooky Empire. And I just realized my entire whole gimmick of this video being like, oh, I never made it, doesn't really hold together if I'm going to talk about what happened at the convention. This was the first time I've gone to Spooky only on a Sunday in a very long time. Like, I've done a couple full weekends. I usually go on a Saturday if I'm going just one day. But with the show Saturday night, that wasn't really a possibility. We kind of went between going Friday and going Sunday. And there were more hours available on Sunday than Friday, and it was about the same price at the door. So it just seemed to be the better option to try to do Sunday. This is the program for the show. So a lot of very themed guests for the most part. Like Alice Cooper was kind of a standout on his own, but a large chunk of the cast from the Friday the 13th remake was there. They had some people from Twilight, they had some people from Children of the Corn, some people from The Greasy Strangler, the Blair Witch cast and the director, and a last minute addition from Anthrax, the singer Joey Belladonna. We arrived at the con about noonish, so it had already been going for around an hour by the time we were there. Because of that, we ended up parking way far back in the parking lot of the Wyndham. We decided that our first go-through would be just to kind of check out the con, get some autographs, whatever. So when we initially went into the autograph room, Joey had very little line at all, so ended up going there, getting him. I had my copy of State of Euphoria with me to get signed. I honestly don't own a lot of Anthrax on vinyl, and especially not like their older stuff, so I was kind of between this and Among the Living, but my Among the Living is a gatefold, and I just figured this would be easier to frame. Plus it was like brand new, so I could also replace it if I want one like in the music collection, one on the wall, but I've yet to do that with any of the stuff I've gotten signed. So it was really cool talking to him. I believe it was his wife that was with him there. Like, he actually, spent a lot of time talking to us. Rob's from like the same part of New York he's from, so they were kind of like talking about that area and all that, which was cool. My next plan was to get this video camera signed. This is, as you saw earlier in the video, I don't know if it's the exact same model they used in Blair Witch Project. From what I can tell looking at it, I think there's an extra button here on the back, so I think it is slightly a different model than the one they used, but it's really close. And my goal was to have the 4 of them that were there sign this thing and then put it on display, in like a shadow box. Unfortunately, when I was there getting the Anthrax piece autographed, the Blair Witch people were not there, so we decided to go walk around the vendor room. Really, I wasn't looking for a whole lot from the vendor room this time. The main thing I was kind of looking out for was anybody that got an import of Godzilla Minus One on Blu-ray. Still waiting for that US release, but I think the Japanese version should play an American player, so I was trying to see if maybe somebody had gotten that. But unfortunately, I had no luck there. There were some very cool vendors as always, but this first go through was really just meant to be a kind of spin through the hall, see what was there. I wasn't really planning on buying anything until later unless something like jumped out at me. It's like, I need to get this right now. After going through there, we went back over to the autograph room and the Blair Witch crew was still not there. I believe they were at their panel at the time. It was going to be a little bit. I think they're like just gone to the panel. The next thing on our to-do list was really to get into costume and walk around, and I'll just say spoiler alert right here. I never ended up getting back to the autograph room to get the camera signed. I never ended up really going back to the vendor room to buy anything. So this ended up being a super light Spooky Empire for me, where I bought 1 autograph for $40. And that was the extent of my purchases at the con outside of drinks. And it's not because there wasn't anything there I wanted to buy, and obviously not because there weren't autographs I wanted to get. It's because I completely lost track of time. So Rob and I went back to his car to get changed into costumes. And ironically, I think we were both in our second choice costumes that we'd brought that ended up becoming our first choice on the day. He had his Rob Zombie's H2 Michael Myers hospital scene costume, and I'd spent some time prepping a Jason Voorhees costume. It's supposed to be Camp Spooky, and they were doing like a gathering of the Jasons on Friday. I was trying to put together my part 3 costume and make sure that was like all updated and looking good. I ended up having some problems with my hockey mask that I need to remake it. So I picked a different mask and modified my under mask to do a part 5 hallucination Jason version of the costume. But I ended up completely leaving that in the car the whole time and tried out my hash-slinging slasher costume. This is based on that one SpongeBob episode where they're working the night shift and all the creepy stuff's happening at the Krusty Krab. I had put it together previously for Collective Con, which is a local con up here in Jacksonville. And it's, more of a generic convention, not as like horror specific, but a lot of people recognized what it was at that con, which, I was unsure of. Like, I tried to make it so you can get the idea of it, but it's a character you only ever see in silhouette, so there's not really a defined look of the character itself, but enough people understood what it was there that I decided to give it another shot at Spooky Empire, and I'm really glad I did, because the amount of people that recognized what it was without having to be told anything was pretty high. A lot of people got it, and I think people were excited to see it just because it's not something you see typically at a horror convention. I'm also really happy at the first con I brought it to. I have light up mechanisms in the eyes, and they had burnt out in like 5 minutes of being there. I'd like pulled a wire out of where it was supposed to go, and the whole thing just shut down and wouldn't work. This time I was able to get them to stay lit throughout the entire con. I actually could see decently. I think if I didn't have, my group of friends with me, it might have been a little easy to get lost with those lights in my eyes, so I could shut them off through a button in my pocket. But, it wasn't terrible in terms of visibility, which was surprising. The only downside is leaving the mask in the car all that time. The hot glue that I was holding the lenses in place with melted, so one of the lenses was kind of free floating in my eye, and I had to keep adjusting it because sometimes it would be where it needed to be and my eye was glowing, and then at one point of the day I caught it, it like sunken down into my mask, and my cheek was lit up red on one side, like I had like a cartoon toothache or something. That was definitely fun to walk around in. It was incredibly toasty to walk around in as well. You might hear in this video, I'm still kind of stuffed up. I was having some terrible allergies this last week, and having not the easiest time breathing didn't make that any easier on me. So it was definitely a bit of a struggle to wear around, and by the end of the day when I took the costume off, I felt like I might as well have been in Bikini Bottom because I was drenched. So we basically, walked around for most of the day. We met up with some friends and kind of walked around with them, talked to a bunch of people we knew, just hung out. It just generally was a good time. Seeing people, hanging out with people, messing with people in costume. Gotta have that, springtime Halloween fix, right? At the end of the day, we decided to go check out the costume contest, and I didn't realize that was like the very end of the day. I thought we were gonna have a little more time afterwards, but it literally was the last thing going on in the schedule, and the con closed pretty much right after, I believe. But that was a cool thing. I never have had a chance to watch the Spooky Empire costume contest before, so it was really neat to see what people brought into that. Especially the category, I don't know what they called it specifically, but the category where it's, you fabricated almost your entire damn costume kind of thing. Like, the amount of talent that goes into some of that stuff is really cool to see. And one of the ones that won was like a Five Nights at Freddy's costume that looked like it might as well be sitting on stage at a Chuck E. Cheese. It's kind of ridiculously well detailed. But I mean, even beyond that, a lot of cool designs. A friend of ours had a Fallout character costume, which was really cool looking. He had some makeup done to look like he was all beat up and busted up. There's a great Candyman costume in there. A lot. It's one of those ones where I'm starting to list things, great, so I'm going to leave everybody out. That's totally not a fair thing to do. So yeah, if you can find a video of that, check it out. There were a lot of great costumes and all that. And like I said, after that, the con was basically done. We went and grabbed some food, hung out with some people for a little bit longer, and then headed back home. So I'm really mad at myself for not getting any footage of the con. Last con I went to, I don't think I even did a video on because I was too busy and didn't film anything. And this time I really wanted to do a video, and I filmed everything leading up to the con, but didn't film the con. So I will find a way to be better about it for the next one. I don't know if anybody even really cares, but I do. I like having these things on video and being able to look back at them when I want to. So it makes me mad that I didn't get any good footage. Or any footage at all. So if my next costume has to be like the dude from Laid to Rest so I can have a camera mounted on my shoulder the whole damn time, that's what's gonna happen. I don't know, like something's gotta happen so I make sure I actually film something. I think the next con that I have planned isn't gonna be until the fall. There's 2 weeks in a row with Spookala and Spooky Empire. So it's going to be a very busy time. I think I'm traveling like 3 or 4 weeks in a row right around then. So by the time Spooky Empire is over in the fall, I know I'm going to be exhausted. But hey, it's the Halloween season. That's what that's there for. I could just sleep through Thanksgiving. But that's it for this one. I'll see you guys later.